Got him?
That's a good one.
Ooh, that ain't a bad fish. I even have the cameras on. Need help with it? You got it?
Nah, I got it.
So we're on Lake Toho with Austin and Tim. They're from upstate New York. I fished with them before a couple years ago. We did a video a couple years ago, didn't we?
Sure.
Yeah. I had like 2 subscribers when I did the video with them a couple years ago. But we're on fish number 4 on a big shell bed out offshore. Not a bad fish. He caught one earlier on topwater. I didn't have the cameras out, not because I didn't bring him out. I wanted to bring him out right when we started. But it was raining a little bit. And that really messes up the microphones because they got all the cat hair thing on them. But we probably overstayed our welcome on the shell bed because the fish are real scattered. Nice, calm, overcast morning. And we're probably going to spend the majority of our day, you see that? Nice fat fish. We're probably going to spend the majority of our day up shallow. But we started out here, and that's one on top water we caught, and that's the 3rd one on a worm we've caught. But there's some fish blowing up. We're going to go up and throw some search baits today, though, and these fish have got to be moving up to spawn. We got almost 74-degree water temperature, and yeah, probably throw some speed worm, fluke, maybe pitching at some isolated lily pad stuff, and might even, if the weather allows it, we might even see if so 2 seconds later, we got another one. The chunker. Look how fat these fish are.
Oops. That's what I'm famous for, train wrecking.
Hey, you got the fish in the boat. Nice one. See how fat they are?
Definitely. That's how
I think all these fish out here are still pre-spawn.
Mine spit up all that shit.
Oh yeah, the big shad that these fish are eating. But these fish are definitely pre-spawn out here still. And I think there's a hump out here that I think they're gonna spawn on. These fish, they don't just necessarily move up on the bank to spawn. They'll spawn anywhere sunlight can reach the bottom. Which means I think about 90% of the beds on this lake, you can't even see them. Is that worm all right?
Yeah.
Got them?
Yep. Fishing on the wrong damn side of the boat.
Yeah, they're up here. That's right where the grass starts.
Yeah, I can feel it pulling through the grass.
He's on fire! We're not doing anything special out here. We're throwing a Texas rig trick worm, 8-inch trick worm, one from DOA. There are chunks out here. And this is actually a smaller one. They're out here eating shad, throwing them up all over the other one had, the last one you caught had some bigger ones in it. Oh look, that one coughed up one out there too. They're out here eating shad, and we're catching them on a worm, of course. Oh, he's bleeding. I'll hold him over, there you go. Is that number 6? Not too bad. Wish they would have bit for me in the open like that out here. They wanted to bite a stupid jerkbait that day. A third, how often you see?
Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Ooh, that's a little better one. Ooh,
yeah,
that is a better
one.
one.
I got your rod.
Oh, I thought he was bigger. That means the decent one, but I thought he was bigger than that, didn't you?
Bigger than
Bigger than what you've caught this year.
Good by me. What do you think, Brad? That boy
See how chunky that fish is? Put the hammer down on that one.
As soon as he set the hook, I knew it was a big one. He bit it just. He must. I'm thinking he bit it twice because he.
I'll give it to you for like a picture.
Just a little bit.
I thought you were about to set the hook.
Hang on, yeah. Oh, it's grass. I thought it was.
Nice chunker.
Everything going first day or tournament. I get in there, freaking first flip, 3.5 pounder, hook it, bring it to the side of the boat, comes off. And I'm fishing a jig. flip in there again, lose another one.
What in the world?
It's a big old crappie.
I just caught a crappie dead sticking a fluke up in the pads. I've caught a lot of crappie on flukes before, but it's always been in open water. We're in like 2.5 feet of water back in the most beautiful part of Lake Toho. And I let this thing sink down in these pads, see if I get a fish off a bed, because they bed in all these pads here, and I get a crappie. A crappie, or speck as we call them in Florida. That's different. I've never done that before.
Really?
Not up in this stuff. That's cool. Got him?
Yep.
It's about time. So the weather's changed. We have our normal, middle of February, 90-degree day, and no more rain, no wind, no clouds over the sun, and we're flipping pads again with the trick worm. I really wanted to get us up in some stuff and, do some more exciting stuff. But with this no wind and sunlight, these fish are going to tuck up under these pads, so we're just still stuck with the trick worm flipping it. I got a frog tied on, a trash panda from 13. I might throw it a little bit. I haven't been getting much of a frog bite though. I posted some pictures the other day on Instagram and Facebook, I think, but that wasn't from here. That was over at the Winter Haven chain where I caught a couple fish on frogs. But we are sweating. Ooh. And we got hydrilla gnats all over us and getting bit every once in a while. You need to catch a bigger one next time. Got him?
Yep. He's freaking coming at me.
Any size to him? Oh, it's not a bad fish. Not a giant. Still pitching worms.
Get him in.
Nice fish. Nice. That's what we call a good tournament fish. That's about the size of the one I caught over here last week, right in that range. Yeah, got a little leech in his mouth. Stop eating leeches. Just getting bit every once in a while. The one thing about this sun and no wind is it's making it easy to figure out where the fish are. They're all tucked up in these pads. We're just not getting a ton of bite. Oh, there's one. We're not getting a ton of bites until just now. Fish wanted to be in a video. That's why he bit like that. Another one. It's the first back-to-back kind of deal we've had today. I'm about to cut the cameras.
That's right.
You gonna catch, make it a triple, sorta? Oh yeah. Slows the pace down. Got him? Oh, he's on there.
Got him out.
That's how you get him out of the pads.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna come out. I have to make sure I caught at least one more.
We'll get some more. This technique that we're doing right now is really super easy. We're just in a bunch of isolated pads, and we got 3/16 ounce tungsten weights, 15-pound mono. I like mono. And we are pitching trick worms into the pads, and it's a slow presentation. We're just kind of most of the bites you get, you're not doing anything. It's that I'm getting my bites on initial downfall. Like if you throw it in there, there's no like secret technique to it, and then just I'm not jigging or anything. I'll just pull it up over some lily pad stems, let it fall down, and then they thump it. The trick here is getting them out of the pads, and I'm sure there's some beds at the base of some of these pads, and so sometimes they're not hitting this worm to eat it, they're hitting it to move it off the bed. We can't see the beds here, but I'm sure there's some beds here. And so they might just be picking up by the tail, so we're missing some of our fish. We're not getting good hooks in a lot of them. But it's kind of consistent through here.
Yeah.
Not a lot of bites, just every once in a while. Got him? Was that one out of the pads? Oh, that's a nice one.
That's a big one, Timmy.
Oh no! Is it out? Good thing you came today. You're catching all the good ones.
Right.
Actually, a little bit bigger. Well, about the same size as that other one you caught. Maybe a little bigger. Nice fish. 3.5. Was that out from the pads when he hit?
Just on the edge.
Just on the edge?
On the edge.
Putting together a solid limit on a miserably hot day. We haven't caught a lot of good fish today, but he had that one this morning out of my top secret spot that was probably just under 5, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And then he caught one about 3.5. That's another 3.5. And I caught a decent one too, didn't I, out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a decent limit. If this was a tournament right now, like a one-day little club tournament, we'd probably be finishing middle of the pack. You always need a big fish on the Kissimmee chain. An 8, 9 pounder. 2's nice. 2 big fish is nice. But this isn't the best fishing conditions, and we're making do with what we got.
What kind of company was it?
Boat rentals. There you go. Ooh.
That's a
ooh.
giant.
That's a good way. Ooh, that is a good one. Oh man, I thought it was so much bigger than that, didn't you?
It's alright.
It's a good fish. Good way to end our day. I'm not even wearing a camera anymore, so I'll just tilt that down. We gave up flipping pads a little while ago and came up and fished this hydrilla line. Dude, if you'd have lost that fish, because it was pulling,
I would have jumped in.
when he set the hook on it, just bowed the rod over and did one of those dead pulls. But we've had a decent day. I'd say with that one bigger one you caught this morning, and then we've had like 4 fish in that range now, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're probably up around the 18-pound mark. Not a giant bag, but a decent bag for. Started out with rain, a little bit of rain, had to cut the cameras for a while, overcast, and then it got dead calm and felt like it was June or July out here. And here in the last hour or so, it probably made our pad bite better, those conditions, but here in the last hour or so, it's been actually bearable out here. We had a pretty good day, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.